songs. Yeah, you in the stew, like in, deep within. And he joins us in studio. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
So let's talk about all these 4 albums and 37 songs, but where it all began. I mean, when did this journey begin for you?
Okay, so usually I don't start with the journey. I start with who I am. So
Go for it.
My name is Tafadzwa, which is Shona for We Are Happy.
Aw, that's sweet.
So the music journey for me started with my brother over there. He introduced me to music in general. So my first ever experiences in music was Afro House. And that's how my music journey began, with listening. And then later on, when you get to high school, you get those moments where you want to be a rapper. And that's where I became more or less a producer, because I fell in love with producing. And then I think in 2020, that's when I dropped my first EP, which wasn't the best, but I think looking back, if I didn't drop it, I wouldn't be this far.
That's actually very noble of you to say. Our first project, I have this thing, it's called the first pancake theory. You know how you either really burn the first pancake that you make, or it's not cooked enough.
It's not cooked yet.
Yeah. So but you had to drop it because we wouldn't be here today if that wasn't the case. So how has your music now evolved? Because there's Afro House, there's hip hop, there's rap, there's producing. Which one are we kind of playing with now? Which era are we in, essentially?
So at the moment we're in Afro House, more towards the tribal side.
Ooh.
Because a while ago, I became a monk, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that whole, abstaining from a lot of things kind of pushes you towards a spiritual journey, and then tribal house is the best way to go.
Actually, talk to me about that, being a monk, transitioning into being a monk. Why did you go that route?
So it's a crazy story. The crazy story is my brother over there went bald, and I thought it was a cool look, so I joined him. And then within joining him, my supervisor at the time recommended a book called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
Yes.
So when I was reading that book, I picked up a few things. I'm like, no, I think if I live my life like this, I will find peace and freedom outside of money and the things I think the treasures of the world, if that makes sense. So that's how I kind of moved towards being a monk. I'm not fully a monk because I'm still rocking gold chains, but it's a transition that I'm getting to.
Yeah. And what does your creative process look like? When you step into the studio, how do you kind of get yourself in tune to produce, to make music?
So when it comes to producing, I go off energies. I'm big on energy. So if I'm in studio alone, how I'm feeling at the time depends on what I'm going to make. So if I'm with someone else, let's say a rapper, then I'll gravitate towards hip-hop. But if I'm with a vocalist, the energy speaks. So we can either go Afro House, piano, or R&B.
And I think within this industry, it's so important to kind of not stick to it, but kind of stick to what you're really, really good at. Especially when you're collaborating with different people are going to want different things from you. And seeing that you said that you're going into Afro House and Tribal House, when you see the international market responding to that, how does it make you guys feel? Especially because you guys are the ones creating the music, and then you go to the likes of Europe to perform and do what you need to do. How do you guys respond to that? I've always wondered because, do you feel like people overseas are kind of stealing your work, or how does it make you guys feel as musicians?
So the one thing it's more or less also what I learned from reading the book.
Yeah.
It's that with art, there is no stealing. It's more or less incorporating different things. So if you look at Afro House, it's kind of I like to say a child to house and EDM music and the other stuff. So house music, Afro House, then Afro Tech, and so and so. So there's a parent thing. So I don't think there's really stealing. It's more or less we borrow each other ideas. And
any collaborations that we can look forward to? Is there anyone that you're interested in working with? And
interested in working with? I'll look to Murder Bongs. Hopefully.
Really? Yeah, I see it.
If that one comes through, then I'll be very happy. I'll be very happy.
And in terms of like some of your aspirations, what are you desiring for the next couple of months? I know that we're kind of nearing the middle of the year. What are you looking forward to?
So right now I'm still pushing out the EP, and then in the next couple of months the deluxe will come through. And the deluxe, I'm quite happy to say it's looking good. It's looking good.
Have you collaborated with anyone on that project?
So far, I've got Linati. I've got also one of my friends, Ngobil. She's also on the project. And then,
And then it's I can't wait for new music. I've been saying that I want new music. I'm demanding it, in fact. You guys who live in the studio, you need to make sure they give us new music, because now more than ever, like, the eyes are on Africa. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
Everyone is paying attention to what we're doing. Everyone is watching what we're doing and trying to emulate what we're doing. And social media now has never been more prevalent. We were speaking off air, and you were saying how, like, sometimes you struggle with the social anxiety.
Yes.
How do you balance that? Because as an artist, people are always going to have questions and wonder, what went into the music that you're creating.
So I believe in the 5-second rule. I'm not sure if anyone knows it. Is you give yourself 5 seconds and then you jump. You give yourself 5 seconds and then you jump. So before I started this, I gave myself like 5 seconds to like think of all the bad things that could possibly happen, and then I immediately start living in the positive.
I'm just curious, what are the possible bad things that could have happened here?
Nothing could happen. It's just that, like, when you're anxious, you think of
all the negative
embarrassment, you think of all the negative things. So you just give yourself like 5 seconds to live in the negative, and then you jump out of the negative space. You live in positive energy all the time.
So similar to Moda Bongs, he is a producer, but he also DJs, right? Do you see yourself doing that anytime soon?
Yes.
Really? Yes. Are the gigs coming? Are they gonna be coming? Are they soon to be coming?
There's one gig on the 28th of April.
Really?
28th of April.
I'm really...
Not April, I mean May.
I
mean June.
June. I was just about to say, I was like...
I'm behind.
Maybe.
I'm behind. 28th of June, my apologies.
Yeah. And we're looking forward to that. Do you want to give the details of that gig?
It's in Fairways. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with Fairways Sky Bar. It's Agno and Friends.
Okay. Sounds exciting. Where can we find you on social media?
On social media, it's DrexxBeats, which is DREXXBeats, not Drake.
Please, hey. The Kendrick fans run away.
Thank you very much.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to what you're going to do. And remember, put it out in the universe. No dream is ever too big, or no dream is ever unattainable. For the fact that you said Moda Bongs, you might find he might be in your DMs as we speak. You never know.
Hopefully.
Or you should be in his DMs, you never know.
With music, it has to be a mutual relationship. So the relationship has to be built first before the music is out, because again, energies.
Okay, I did not know that. Thank you so much for educating me on that. I now know. It is at 8:40 Central African time. Thank you so much for joining us today, and truly all the best with the work you have ahead of you. We've got about 20 minutes to the top of the hour. Let's enjoy some more music.
Thank you very much.
Africa, voici Abedi.
Oui, c'est moi.
Abedi est un passionné de musique dans l'âme. Il a un goût pour toutes sortes de musique et passe ses journées à écouter Channel Africa.
J'aime beaucoup la musique africaine.
Ok. Devinez quoi? Channel Africa veut aider Abedi et les mélomanes du monde entier à découvrir encore plus de musique incroyable. C'est pourquoi Channel Africa appelle les artistes